Since the dawn of civilization, man has built objects not merely to move through the world, but to defend himself from it. Steel becomes a shield, technology becomes an ego, and speed becomes the illusion of control over chaos. And so I ask you, why does the Cybertruck fascinate us? What desire, ancient, primal, and deeply repressed, awakens when we see a vehicle shaped like a weapon? The Tesla Cybertruck is not just a machine. It is a cultural event, a geometric monument of polished armor, born in a world that appears increasingly fragile. Some call it the future, others call it absurd. But no one, absolutely no one, is indifferent. And indifference, my dear viewer, is the great enemy of the unconscious. If something provokes such strong reactions, it is because it touches something hidden within us. Today, I will analyze the Cybertruck not as an engineer, but as a psychoanalyst, because what we build always reveals what we fear, what we wish, and what we deny. Look at its form, sharp, rigid, angular. It resembles not a car, but a fortress. Humanity has always feared vulnerability, from the cave dweller hiding from beasts to the modern man hiding from anxiety, criticism, and uncertainty. The Cybertruck promises, "Nothing can hurt you while you are inside me." This is not engineering. This is wish fulfillment, a metal womb for the anxious adult. Or the Cybertruck awakens the same ancient fantasy that armored knights once inspired, but it goes even deeper than that. It touches a place within us where power is not simply desired, it is assumed. Consider its geometry: sharp, aggressive, unapologetic. It does not ask permission from the eye, it imposes itself upon it. This design evokes not transportation, but domination. And domination, my dear viewer, is one of the unconscious mind's oldest pleasures. Inside the psyche of every human being, long before societal rules and moral expectations are learned, there exists a fleeting moment, a moment of pure psychological illusion, in which the child believes, "I am the center of everything." The infant cries, and the world responds. The infant wishes, and someone appears. This is the fantasy of absolute omnipotence, a brief paradise from which reality soon banishes us. Yet the memory of this imaginary power does not disappear. It buries itself deep within the unconscious, waiting for a symbol strong enough, strange enough, bold enough to revive it. And the Cybertruck, with its armor-like skin and its refusal to conform to the curves and softness of ordinary cars, becomes precisely that symbol. When one looks at it, or imagines owning it, an old inner voice whispers, "I am untouchable. I am dominant. I move through the world without fear." Notice that such a fantasy is not rational. No object, no matter how armored, grants absolute immunity. But psychoanalysis teaches us an essential truth. Humans do not seek objects for what they are, but for what the unconscious believes they represent. The Cybertruck, therefore, does not appeal to logic. It appeals to the memory of that lost omnipotence, a forgotten psychological Eden where the world revolved around our earliest desires. Its metallic body becomes a costume for the ego, an exoskeleton for our insecurities, a theatrical expression of the power we once imagined we possessed. In this way, the Cybertruck is less a vehicle and more a wish to return, if only symbolically, to the time when nothing could threaten us because we had not yet discovered the terrifying truth of human vulnerability. Its straight lines, its stainless steel body, its brutal simplicity, these are not merely aesthetic choices. They are psychological statements, declarations of an ego striving to appear perfectly controlled, rational, unshakable, almost mathematical. The Cybertruck looks as if it were carved from a single idea, an idea that rejects softness, rejects uncertainty, rejects the messy, fluid nature of human emotion. It tries to be a machine without contradiction, a clean, cold geometry standing against the chaos of life. But the unconscious laughs at such illusions. And it laughs because the ego, no matter how disciplined it pretends to be, cannot escape the truth. We are creatures of curves, not angles, of impulses, not algorithms, of vulnerability, not armor. No human is sharp, rigid, or geometric. Our bodies bend, our emotions fluctuate, our thoughts wander, and our identities shift with every new experience. Yet we build machines that pretend to be what we cannot, machines that promise the stability we secretly wish existed within ourselves. The Cybertruck, with its impenetrable skin of steel, becomes a symbolic antidote to our internal instability. Every straight line of its design whispers, "I do not bend." Every flat panel declares, "I do not waver." Every reflective surface announces, "Your chaos cannot enter me." It is the fantasy of a pure ego, a self untouched by contradiction, immune to doubt, polished to the point of impersonality. But psychoanalysis reveals a paradox. The more rigidly one tries to defend the ego, the more fragile it becomes. Armor does not eliminate fear. It reveals its intensity. Why else would someone wrap a vehicle, an object meant to move freely, in the aesthetic of a bunker? Because the Cybertruck is not only a car, it is a claim, almost a prayer. Let me be unbreakable. And since no human truly is, we project that desire onto machines, hoping they will protect us from the emotional storms we cannot control. The Cybertruck expresses the fantasy of emotional invulnerability, the longing for a personality covered in metal, a heart insulated from disappointment, a self so polished, so armored, that nothing from the outside world could ever pierce it. In truth, we do not want a vehicle, we want a fortress, and more than a fortress, a mirror of the person we wish we could be when our most fragile selves remain hidden. Let us not ignore the obvious. The Cybertruck breaks the rules of automotive aesthetics. That alone gives pleasure. The pleasure of saying no to tradition, the pleasure of shocking, the pleasure of disruption. To own one is to perform a symbolic rebellion, a socially accepted form of shouting, "I refuse to be ordinary." Your machines become statements when they express what we cannot say aloud. In every great myth, the creator becomes a father figure. Musk, whether we like it or not, symbolizes the archetype of the father of the future, the one who promises salvation through innovation. For many, buying a Cybertruck is not purchasing a vehicle. It is aligning with a prophecy, because belief in a fatherly figure of progress is comforting. It makes the uncertainties of modern life more bearable. The id, raw desire, speed, dominance, impact, rebellion. The ego, cold geometry, order, stainless steel, rationality. The superego, the moral narrative of innovation. It's for the future, it's progress, it's responsible. Thus, the Cybertruck is a perfect symbolic object. It satisfies the id while pretending to obey the superego. In the end, the Cybertruck is not about transportation. It was never simply about moving from one point to another. It is about who we believe we are and who we fear we might become. It is about the human condition, naked beneath its layers of steel. Humanity has always carried the same ancient tensions. Our desire to be safe, our fantasy of power, our fear of disappearing into anonymity, and our timeless longing for a symbolic armor to protect us from life's unpredictability. The Cybertruck compresses all of these impulses into a single object, an object that pretends to be emotionless precisely because we are not. Notice how its design speaks in absolutes. I do not bend. I am not fragile. I will not break. These are not automotive statements. These are psychological defenses, the very things we whisper to ourselves when life becomes overwhelming. And yet the irony is delicious. The more we try to escape our vulnerability through machines, the more clearly those machines reveal it. For no one seeks armor unless they secretly feel exposed. We build machines in our image, but not the image we show the world. Not the smiling self, not the confident mask, not the curated persona. No. We build machines in the image we hide, the fearful one, the uncertain one, the one who hopes that steel can silence the tremors of the heart. And so the Cybertruck stands, monolithic, angular, impenetrable, not as a vehicle of the future, but as a confession of the present. A confession that beneath our technological bravado, beneath our hunger for innovation, beneath our stainless steel dreams, we remain painfully, beautifully human. Before you leave, allow me one final analysis. Transformation, whether in the psyche or in technology, requires action. If this exploration awakens something in you, let your gesture be simple. Press the like button, a small act of strength that even steel cannot resist. Subscribe so that our journey into the unconscious may continue, as bold and indestructible as the Cybertruck itself. And if impulses move you, leave a comment. Tell me, what does this armored machine awaken in your inner world?